Hi everybody, it's time for your Farm and Ranch news. Well, on Sunday, Smithfield Foods announced that its Sioux Falls, South Dakota facility will remain closed until further notice. The plant is one of the largest pork processing facilities in the entire country, representing between 4 and 5% of total U.S. pork production. It supplies nearly 130 million servings of food per week, or about 18 million servings per day, and more than 550 independent hog producers supply the plant. But as of this weekend, more than 230 employees had tested positive for COVID-19 out of a workforce of about 3,700. Kenneth Sullivan is president and CEO for Smithfield and says the closure of their facility, combined with a growing list of other protein plants that have shuttered across their industry, is pushing our country dangerously close to the edge in terms of our meat supply. He says it's impossible to keep grocery stores stocked if these plants aren't up and running, and these closures will also have severe, perhaps disastrous repercussions for many in the entire supply chain, first and foremost, our nation's livestock producers. Certainly not the news the U.S. livestock industry was wanting to hear, given all of the recent market challenges because of the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. Stay with us. We'll have more ag news right after this. Well, rural healthcare leaders say the recently passed Phase 3 coronavirus legislation and any potential phases to come need to better address the concerns of our rural hospitals. In a letter to Congress and the Trump administration, the National Rural Hospital Association says that the increase of COVID-19 cases is weighing heavily on healthcare facilities in rural areas, which are becoming further stressed because of the lack of revenue being brought in from the stoppage of providing non-emergency care. Before the COVID-19 outbreak, nearly half of all rural hospitals were operating at a financial loss. Now COVID-19 is expediting the process of these closures due to the lack of funds and resources available to rural hospitals, further destabilizing core health services here in rural America. In some other news, as the wool market struggles during the current worldwide pandemic, now might be a good time, they say, for wool producers to look into the FSA's Wool Loan Deficiency Payment Program. Just last week, LDP payments were available for fine wool as well as coarse wool. Now, payment rates kind of range and they change weekly, but wool finer than 18.6 micron was eligible for a 35-cent per pound payment last week. Wool from 26 to 28.9 micron was eligible for a 23-cent per pound payment, and wool 29 micron and coarser was eligible for a 24-cent per pound payment. And finally, I want to share kind of a fun story that made its way around social media this past weekend. It was drive-in movie night at the Dumas Co-op Grain Elevator down in Dumas, Texas. They ran the movie Call of the Wild on the side of the huge white grain elevator there, and the audio was played through the car's FM radios. Now, reports on Twitter said that there was full local authority encouragement for this much-needed family entertainment, and that everyone stayed in their cars and there was no problems. Just think how excited the kids and adults had to be. That's a look at your Farm and Ranch news. Have a great day.